chat. Okay. Woohoo. I'm here. Here. Oh my gosh. I don't know what to start or where to end. Or people are like, God, Jen, you haven't been on YouTube in forever. It's been crazy and nuts. All that stuff that's going on. The light is like really bright. So I did a video earlier with Kelly. And now I want to come on and talk about some stuff I've been working on and this current situation that's going on, all that fun stuff. It's dry where I live right now. It's really dry. So, I don't even know where to start. There's so much to go into, right? You guys can post some subjects that you want to talk about on the side of the chat. I guess you can go with there because there's so much that I can go in with and start with. And I haven't been on here. So you can hear my bulldog. And it's just been crazy and that's what's going on. But I'm at a place that I've been telling everybody, even my students, that I'm not worried. We're at a point that I'm not worried. Because humanity is really, really opened up and is seeing the truth. And I mean, in the whole circle of things, that light is just wanting to shine. Sorry. See? Just doesn't want to do that. Okay, I'll block my head on it. So anyway, the firmament, yeah. Well, the firmament I'm doing in layers, and I keep... there's about 12 layers they're showing me, but they are saying that is going to come down. And so what you need to watch, we'll bring up the firmament. What you need to watch on that is nature is going to react to it first. Okay? Nature is going to react to that very first process. And then you need to pay attention to the sun. Because with that, you're going to almost think that you're seeing two suns, which you will see, an inner sun and an outer sun on that process of things. So, gosh, that light is driving me nuts. Hold on. So, with that process, and it's so hard for people because these flat earth people and the ones that don't believe in it, they just really get so angry and upset when you bring this up. But even like on the picture of here, and the spirit told me, they're like, okay, look at the ice, the stairway to heaven, the yellow brick road, the ruby slippers, the ruby lake. I mean, it's all leading to the over on the other side. And I did give you guys, especially on Instagram, if you go to Instagram, you can see all the pictures, the drawing I did with the ruby lake. You know, and that once you start with one thing, it leads to all this other information that's all together. You know, you're going to find out a lot of information from that side of the planet that's going to be surfacing and coming to the light, and what was hidden for years and years, and now it's melting away like it should be. So, and then also I talked about those futuristic pyramids that were white, and that pyramids always, the ones that have energy frequencies and they're higher intelligent type of energy, always the pyramids are in threes. So these are white, looking, very slick looking, paying attention to that. I mean, the stuff that I'm getting is just consistent of information. So, you know, I have to look and analyze, like when they showed me that lake, and then and I took all the pictures because I knew it was going to happen. As soon as people started seeing and going to that area, they blocked some of those paths out. And I held the pictures, and the pictures are in Instagram of everything clarifying ruby, 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 ruby. Not something they want you to see. not something they want to expose to you either. I want you to know. So, which makes sense. The ruby slippers, yellow brick road, stairway to heaven. I mean, it's just making sense, right? It's right in front of our face. I'm on Instagram. I'm always on there. I'm sure someone can post the link in here too. So, I mean, we're in this unreal looking world now. Where things that we thought were so fake and it's so real, and you really have to sit outside the box and wonder a lot of things of what's really going on over there. You have to keep your eye on Antarctica. You got to keep, I don't care if you have to go on Google all the time, pay attention what's going on, how fast the ice is melting, what's surfacing on top of the oceans, all of that stuff. And it's a good thing. We're in a good process to see all of this, all of it. But our programming has told this is unreal. This is unreal. This can't be real, because that's the program of showing you that it's not real. Keeping you in a capsule of a wall so you couldn't go anywhere. That's going to come down. So, how can you verify that this is happening? Well, the weather patterns are just completely crazy. You can't predict, and I mean, in thinking you're going to have a normal season with snow mixed with rain or whatever. I'm just telling you, that tells you you're not in the same world anymore. You're not dealing with the same type of issues anymore. And with that, you really have to push yourself outside the box on this situation. You have to understand the media, the whole program is to occupy your mind and make sure you're just paying attention to what they think they need you to focus on. Well, a lot of you ain't doing that no more. You're doing research, you're paying attention, you're looking at things. And that's good, because even in the circle of the so-called truthers, there is sabotage. There is sabotage, and that is to keep you occupied. But always with that process, you'll notice it keeps you spinning, but never gives you a choice. It never gives you results. It never shows you a path to get through it. They just spin and spin and spin. That's not the way it is. That's not the way it is. Everything's about creation is about giving you a choice to make your own free will choice of what it is, not keeping you in a circle. And so at this point in time, I'll have a lot of people that come to me and says, I've figured everything out. I figured what is the truth and what is a lie and what is the program and what is not. I did a 2-year investigation on the Galaxy Federation. 2 years I sat back, did documentation, talked to all of them. None of it was making sense. None of it. There's a certain knowing that working with these beings, and it comes in very fast. You don't have to plan for it. It just shows itself. And if you trust that, it just comes in, and this being programmed and being prepped to what you need to talk about. That's not the way it works. So I would tell you on that end of anybody that's saying they're developing or talking to aliens or anything like that, they will work the same way spirit works. If you ask them to show themselves in pictures, they will. I have tons of it. Tons of pictures of them that showing up. It's the same thing with the UFO community. You might see it a little different way in a higher dimension, but they will show themselves like they have in the past. But none of them have that documentation. None of them have that verification. So just telling you, it's a program of occupying your mind, but it never gets you anywhere. It never allows you to do something on your own and make your own choice. And when you're sitting and waiting for another to lead you, that is not where creation or creator wants you to be. The voice and the frequency and the information always resided in you. The keys were always inside of you forever and have been. And that's what they always resisted you tapping into. So now we're at a process in this world that you can do that. You can acknowledge that. You can trust that. The religion thing is falling apart. The intimidation of religion is falling apart. They don't have control of you like they did. You're thinking on your own. The possibility of that happening is amazing. They were always supposed to show you independence, your own choice. They just kept spinning the information. And that's why you felt frustrated and feel like you weren't getting anywhere. Everybody wants that hope that this is the true information, and they never gave it to you. They just spend another story. But like I said, if you're in that situation, you're saying, show me something. Show me something that's raw. Show me a print of that. Because if those beings are working with you, they will step into this 3D energy and show you their appearance. Trust me, people have documentation everywhere. You're just not seeing it precisely on YouTube because those are entertainers. The ones that are doing the work, they're tired, they're exhausted, they're working left and right. So you don't need to buy any more tickets. You don't need to go to any more events. You don't need to read any more books. All you need to do is start to sit inside you with that energy and the yes and the no and the truth. We're evolving. And the whole part of this being good is the fact that it's getting as many awake in a different way, in a spiritual way, in an awakening of knowing what your body can do, and the voice that you can hear, and the balance that comes in. It's the oneness. What that does, it takes away complete fear across the board. I'm very impatient, like meditation. It's just like, I want to go up now. I want to feel it now. And they know that. So, and there's ways to do that. They just keep you on that circle, that too. So the reason I'm coming on there, I've done a lot of work, but we're at a stage right now. Let's switch a little bit. So 3D processing money and those programs are not going to be able to adapt to the new system. And I've told you time and time again, gold and silver is your guarantee. All of it is not going to compute in the new process. You're going to wake up one day and that will be flat ass, not worth nothing. And you can't force it into a new system. You can't. So, and more advanced, highly intelligent. It's not going to take it. Just so it's not going to allow you to pull money out when you are using it on bad intentions. It's not like, is it like reading your thoughts? Yeah. Can it read your rhythm of your intentions? Yeah. Is that a bad thing? I don't think so. You got to ask yourself, what's that going to stop? What type of crimes will stop with that? A lot. I know you've been seeing the black, the buses I talked about were white and black windows everywhere. I told you guys about that a year and a half ago. They're everywhere. They're everywhere. And wherever those are, there's always something else going on. You may see something up front, but guarantee you behind the door there's something totally different going on. Totally. It's a good thing. Venting, interviewing, getting information. They have to. So think about it before you're assuming what they're telling you, what's going on. Look in the bigger picture. They say the word, the reserves down in that area. Seen that much down there. Do you really think it's about containing another country from coming in? I don't think so. But I do think it has to do with what's underground and what they're pulling up. You're going to need a lot of people for that. I'm sure there's a lot of night ops moving material that should be removed. So you're going to see a lot of buses for a while, and you're going to see them in blue cities for a while, in and out for a while. So it's part of the process. I've told you guys. Documentation. I warned you. I told you. That's why I want you to follow it and see what is right and what is wrong, because that's important for you to verify that. It's important. So I talked about these weather patterns. They're coming now. I'm feeling them. And that is Florida, Louisiana, and Texas. And the last part of it will hit California. And so they're showing me this June time. And there's a dryness they're showing that will go into July, but there's this June time of this storm that's coming. That's my dog, of course. They're interested in everything outside. So with that situation, Florida was the Keys area, that it would go down for a while and it would be hard to even go in that area. Louisiana is an area that they said that it would not resurface for a while again. It's going to be pretty high. Texas gets into a certain area. So I had these maps on Instagram. It gets to a certain area and it stays right there. You know, you guys got to understand, when I'm drawing something or doing something with spirit, I'm literally drawing it, analyzing it. Sorry, I'm going to let my dog out. Sorry. Drawing it, analyzing it. And when I'm drawing these, I have to draw them and then he instruct me how to draw it or what's the level that it's at. I mean, it's not my mind just drawing it. It's a cooperation from the other side. So how these things work. So you need to go on Instagram and look at those. So, and then the surface with the saturation of the water, other things will surface. Other things that you have not seen at all. And the shepherd told you to keep an eye on the water. So he's right about that. You have to keep an eye, because there's a lot of stuff going on at night that you're not seeing. It's coming to the surface. And all of a sudden, they're finding all these artifacts everywhere, all over, surfacing. All of a sudden, makes you wonder, what's really going on? Who's in charge? I think think I know. And it's a good thing. It's kind of stuffy today, and my dogs are spoiled. They've been fine this morning when I did a video, but not now. Sorry. Come on, Vanilla. Come on, get in there. Sorry. True life. So anyway, if you have Bitcoin, get rid of it. I know you think, oh, it went up. Just don't. You took the bait. Don't do it. Don't do it. That's the bait. Come on, you're going to buy more. Buy in more. That's what they're saying. Don't do it. Don't do it. It's going to go down. It's not going to come back up to a certain point. It's just like the media. One day it's going to be there, and then they're not coming back. They're going to disappear, and then new ones are going to appear. Sorry, I have to look at something. So the thing is we're at a point that I feel good about things. We're at a point of where Spirit says it's just a waiting game, pushing something down that's disintegrating, and something new is implementing. And that's the whole thing. It's like pulling something up and then disintegrating something. Little by little, piece by piece. Those judges and the lawyers are not in control of this world anymore. Should be listening to Christopher. Humanity judge. Listen to his information. Pretty smart one. So, and the thing is, and as I told you, when everything breaks down, you won't see these people again. You won't see them appear. They'll be gone. Just gonna be gone. But you will know which ones really did the work and really helped the situation. But this is the thing, guys. This is what you really need to think about, is when we get to a certain phase, I'm not worried about the money. It's not that at all. And everybody has what they need and everybody can flourish, but that's not it. It's the next step that's important. It's evolving into the next step that's important, and where we go from here and how we accept that and heal from the past and learn from it. And don't think that everything's an AI, bad AI. It's not. There's some good things out there that have both an energy with it and technology with it. So there's two things together sometimes. So you guys gotta understand that processing something new takes time. And I mean consciously. And then when these financing comes in, the next day, technology, frequency, I don't like to use that word because they don't like that word, devices will help your body. But they will be free. Anybody that's charging for that is a fraud. So, and they're not going to get away with that, true. The military are in charge of that only, and will be that way for a long time. So, how long is this process? 3 days. 3 days of just things shutting down and something coming back online. If you're in the fear of, do I have enough? All this is going to happen. I think you're going to be surprised how smooth it goes. Because if something is urgent, if something is presenting like in a pressure point with me, that there's a hurry on it, they tell me right away. There's not. There's going to be balance with this, the process with this. But also, you're going to see a big amount of people. I think you'll be shocked when that system goes down. Neighbor helping neighbor. You don't understand, like bringing down that matrix situation, it cuts everything off. It cuts the process of thinking in that way, the illusion of it, everything. And then it gets people down to their core of being a human again. You know, how is you're outside and with your neighbor and interacting and nothing's beating it. So what are we supposed to fear? Really nothing. Just trust the process. Listen to your instinct if it tells you right or wrong. Right or wrong. So, you know, in the weeks, not even weeks, 5 days, you're going to see it's just a psych ward of the financial going up and down and up and down. And they're going to be like scratching their heads and their ass. It's an old system that will not work and adapt into the new system. So you ask yourself, financially, what should I do? Ask yourself that question. If it really sits at the bottom of your gut and you're saying, I got to pull this money, then do it. And if it doesn't, then don't. So it's important. We're in a process where I can't wait for humanity to hold on to each other's hands and says, we're going to do this. We're going to be a part of this. We're going to work together. Do you understand? It's the whole world coming together in this process. The whole world. Now, if that does not put a fear in the cabal, I don't know what does. If that enlightenment does not make them fearful, I don't know what will. Can you imagine that energy? Can you imagine that energy? What that is going to be like? And as I told you, it would bring you to your knees. And the ones that had been here, supposed to have been doing their job and been chosen to do it, and have denied it, at that moment, will know the wrong that they have been led down the wrong path and have a higher understanding of knowing what they didn't do. That's a scary feeling. That is a scary feeling. But the ones that did it from the time they were here and walked the path on their own and took the knives and the swords and the pain and the suffering and walked that lonely road by themselves and stayed in the truth and was not bought or sold, they're going to be able to put their head high in the sky. Do I think that collage of those beings, there's a smaller group? Yes. But I will tell you, the ones that didn't, they'll just disappear, hide in the dust. There's not much to be proud of when you lie. And just like religion was supposed to lead you to the same process, it was supposed to lead you back to creation, to Creator. But it wanted to pick your pockets on its way. They didn't care what budget you were on. They didn't care about what medical situation you had. That will be gone too. And those societies, for what they have created on their own, will be brought down for not serving the true light as it should be. So, right now, it's like sitting back and allowing things to just process through. So I'm going to read a couple comments here. so I can ramble on the whole time. This is the thing, you guys. I believe everything that needed to be gone is gone and put where they needed to be. Your conscience, if it decides not to accept something, it will not do it. But if your conscience says, I want to see the truth, then you will see the truth in it. But let me tell you, there's a big mess to clean up. A lot of people were used, and that damage is going to be tremendous, of leaving them behind and just letting them hang in that. It's not fair. And the kids, the tremendous wound of that, what it does to the soul, and the pain and the suffering of it, that's where they're going to need the community of this world to put them back together. So it starts by one. And so, but there is a different energy that is being formed here on Earth. It's already started. And as I told you, it'll be seen as a fog, that is a cream fog that will present on this planet, that is warm and inviting, and not any negative can breathe in it. Nope, not at all. So is there gonna, people are wondering if this is gonna be this battle that you think that's gonna happen. It's already happened. You just didn't know. But I know that these honorable veterans, military people, will stand up. And I'm talking from town to town, to neighbor, because when they realize they're getting their country back, you watch what stands up and starts to help and puts their hand into it. They will. They will. So, I am having you look at the weather towards this month and be prepared for some flooding that's coming. But prepared for large sounds in the sky that you have not heard before. And don't try to put it together like something from here, because it's not going to make sense. It's almost like the universe is witnessing all of this and being a part of it. And they'll take what they need to and put it back where it belongs, in a safe place where devices belong and not in anybody's hands. And that's a good thing. Compartments that they can't reach. And you will see ley lines and pyramids come alive and work like a circular system. You have to put that programming that you've been taught by education, religion, and man, and wash it out. Because I tell you what, education's next. It's going to go down in the toilet. And that's where it needs to be. And they were bought out too. So you've got to just watch a process of dismantling and be patient with the dismantling phases. with this process. So I'm trying to think if there's anything else that I forgot. If you guys are posting questions on the side here, because when I get in this phase, I'm like, what did I forget? Gardening is like a big thing right now, and I'm addicted to doing it now and wanting to be around plants because there's an energy in the air with this going on. It's a calmness that's there. That's going to be important in the future. And like I said, pay attention to your vegetables this year and see how they're bigger. And even in the garden that I'm seeing, fruit trees that have not developed in years are developing. Everything is growing. And that tells you nature is reacting to different air and different processing. So you need to pay attention to that. Trump is not going to jail. So in this process of things, evolving yourself and you're confused by things, I mean, you can always send me a message. If you're really interested and, you were scared before to ask questions or take a class one-on-one, it's fine. It's up to your free will. But if you're trying to understand it, I can lead you in the direction of finding that information. So it's all about evolving and change. So what I'd have to say for this month is you don't need to be, thinking that the only way you're going to get information is pay for everything. There's books out there. I mean, you're going to have to go back to libraries, dig up information, Google, it's a program. So things are going to have to change. How you access information. And it's like it was harder effort to go to the library and look at information, look for books, pull those cards and go down that hallway to pull those books. We're going to have to go back to that for a while until they put a new system up that you can trust. It's just part of it. We're going to have to do some walking, lifting before we get to this higher technology of understanding. But I can promise you with that, peace will come in a different way. And the IRS, I think it's already dismantled. The money comes in, that has already gone. The banks had to sign a contract. And if it's too much for you, and because you have to choose a reality, then you choose not to look at that because it's a dismantling phase. Step away from it. Stop thinking that everybody is like some human being. There's some deep programs here. Keep an eye on New York, because that'll be the first phase that you see in the streets, people falling to the ground. They're probably not people. To cut the cord, cut the power, cut the source, shovel it up. It's going to happen. But you're going to be more healthier. Your bodies are going to recover faster. You're going to feel good inside. You're going to be at peace. So keep your eye on the shepherd. Listen to his voice. Listen to what he's saying, because he's leading you to the truth and has been. So I just want to have you prepared for this month. Go outside, enjoy being outside, enjoy the weather, connect with that, but be aware that some weather is going to change, and some systems are going to go down. They're not going to come back. And gardening and farmers market, that's going to be a good thing. Walmart's going to be gone. Wasn't anything real that you were getting from that place. I'm shocked that people still go there. They'll use those buildings for different facilities. Mentally ill. I think it's important to watch the recovery of this, to watch how people heal, how it makes them feel inside, how inspiring that is. It's important to pay attention to that, because this is something that will stay in your conscience forever. So, sorry, it's been a long time since I've been on here talking about this, but I have been busy. And so I do what I can. So if you guys need to contact me, now that things are a little bit easier for me on my schedule, I'll be trying to get on here more. But I really need you to write a list of what you feel that is good for you and what isn't. And if it isn't, don't look at it. Don't process it. Don't give it power it doesn't have. Don't eat it. Don't use it. Don't look at it. Seriously. Seriously. I've been doing a lot of, because of the situation that's happened the last 2 years, is I've been having to cross a lot of people over and transition. But in a very enlightened way, and helping their families accept it and embracing it a different way. But they need to be accountable for the damage that they've done to this world and the heartache they've caused families. And the education that they have brainwashed and tried to control. It'll come to a screeching halt overnight. So out for myself, what is, my path here has been from the time when I was young and I listened to that voice and said, this is the priority. This is the voice of truth. And I've been doing that from day one. And I might have obstacles and people come in my life and say that, I think this is the right choice. I always go back to that, the truth. I always go back to their original voice, and I'll stay in that. Whether I have swords or knives in my back and tripping over and trudging into mud, because the ones that were seated here were meant to do this. And we will do it to the day that we die. We cannot be bought or sold. Just it's been tried. So the ones that stand strong, you're almost there. You're almost there. Stay strong. Stay stronger. There's going to be a time that you're going to be able to breathe and feel some rest. It's coming. But I want to say, you all take care and start to listen to your heart and the instinct that's inside you. Listen to high vibration tones that feel good and not the low vibration that don't do you no good. and listen outside in the sky. So you guys take care. Good night.